Boop, boop. What up, everybody? There we go. Today, if we can get it, we are going to go over an exercise that a lot of cyclists actually need but do incorrectly. So today's exercise is called the groiner or the Spider-Man. Now, this is a total core workout, but it is not the core that you think of. So just to make sure that we're clear and straight here, core is everything, all of the muscles, all of the structures between your neck, your elbows, and your knees. So if someone comes to you and says, oh, I'm going to do a core workout with side planks and whatever else, throw your dirty socks at them. Right? We don't need that. We don't need to just focus on crunches and bicycle crunches. That, in fact, is one of the worst things you can do for your core as a cyclist or a triathlete. Why is that one of the worst things you can do? Because our core, all of those muscles actually work kind of like guy wires in order to support and stabilize our spine. That's what we're after all this time, is we want all of the muscles of the midsection to fire together to support our spine and lock our rib cage and pelvis together. Now, the challenge that we have as cyclists is a lot of the movements that we have on the bike or as triathletes, including our run, are going to have us in this position. Now, you'll notice it looks like I'm carrying a little bit of a beer belly, and that is because I have been sitting and working on my computer like this, which is awful. So my lower abdomen is completely turned off. My pelvic floor is not as stable as it could be. I can feel it in my power output when I have stomps or I have some short efforts, and I can also feel it in my kettlebell swings and squats. But the exercise we're going to go over today will help you be able to dial in your core. Again, the core, everything between your knees, your elbows, and your neck to be able to function better. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring you down to the floor, and we're going to rock and roll through groiners, aka Spider-Man, aka whatever else you would like to call it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with our feet together, and as we go through, one of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is we want to kind of plant our feet down on the ground. So if you're a runner, you can kind of paw, you can kind of come down and connect with the floor. This is really important. Now I'm going to start off a little bit off camera, and what we're going to do is we want to take a nice big step forward. And we're going to rotate you up just a little bit so you can see what's going on up here, all the fun of live television. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice long step forward. Now this long step forward, notice how my hips come forward. I'm getting extension in through the hip back here. This is really important for the groiner or for the Spider-Man. We're teaching the hip flexors to shut off when the leg is extending. Now some of you, if you've been riding for some time, you may find that as you go through this exercise, if we tilt it up a little bit more, you may find that you get into this position and you can't really get down. It's kind of awkward because your hip flexors are so closed. This is one of the great reasons why this is such a fantastic exercise. So the modification we'll use for you if you're a cyclist or a triathlete and you're stuck here and it looks really awkward and looks nothing like what I'm doing here, what we want to do is just put you up on a bench or a chair of some sort. Exact same thing, nice big step, hands come on the inside, and then we'll go through the rest of the movement for today. But this is a really important discernment so that you understand how to modify this instead of going through and doing a really poor job of executing the movement. Now, we're going to focus on the lower body here. That's why you can't see my upper body. So we're going to take that nice big step, connect with the floor, nice big step, not too long. Notice my front shin is vertical. That's about where we want it. My hands come down on the inside. If I need to, I can dig my back foot back, but ideally we should be taking long enough of a step. We don't need that. From here, I'm going to brace my stomach, fire my glute to straighten my back leg. This is the hip lift. We're going to come up. That's going to stretch the groin and the hip flexor, the groin and the hamstring. And then we're going to come back down, fire the glute to release the hip flexor. And this is where we get a little bit of fun. We're going to rotate our back hand, inside hand, up and back, and breathe out. Back down, and then stand. Don't worry, I know you couldn't see that top part, so we're going to bring you up again. This is the part of live TV. So let's watch the top part of the movement. So you've seen the bottom. It's a nice long step. Connect with the ground. Coming down. Okay, nice long step. Notice my back hip is extended. I'm not rotating open and I'm not crouching down. I'm going to come down, fire the glute, bring the glute down, hip comes up. This is the hip lift. Hip comes back down. Now that rotate. Watch where I get the rotation from. I'm going to get it from the mid back in through here. Okay, I'm not moving my hips. I'm not opening my hips all the way up, keeping my hips square, and then back down. And then from here, it's a single leg lunge up and together. Notice how I kept my midsection tied together to come up. I didn't come up out of that like this and then stand. You notice, you can see my riding position there, right? If I do it that way, my back, so here's my back, here's my riding position. Right here, there's that little kink in my shirt. You see that? If you're riding next to me and I'm down in the drops, that's what I'm going to look like. We don't want to come up like this. Okay? Why don't we want to do that? We don't want to mirror our riding position. Instead, what we want to try to do is get you to tie in the hamstring and the groin to stabilize the knee, opening the hip flexor with that breath, because the diaphragm actually has the psoas muscle run right through it, and allow us to use the glute in order to get hip extension to stand. So as you're doing all of that, we also want to teach the body to be able to work together, the posterior. Everybody's talking about posterior lower chain, but a lot of coaches and people who mean well and are teaching this exercise are letting cyclists and triathletes get off easy because they're not keeping them tight on the form. They're allowing them to come up like this. Well, you're only doing half the exercise or a third, and they skip the breathing and the rotation, which is okay. That's a beginner's version. But when you come up, we want to tie together the spinal extensors. You're going to drive. I'm okay if you're beginning and it's a little bit tough. Use your hands a little bit, but come up and straight. Get that hip extension on the opposite side. Now, this is the groiner. This is a total core workout. Now, some people are going to look at this and say, screw this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not core. Core is planks and side planks. And actually, as we spoke about at the beginning, the core is everything between your neck, your elbows, and your knees. Why am I repeating that 3 times? And why, if you have subscribed and liked the channel down below, do I often repeat things in videos? The reason is because these are the main take-homes. The more you hear it, the more it's going to sit back in your brain and you're going to absorb it, and that's going to allow you to see even better results. There we go. Get that camera from auto zooming. Now, as you go through this exercise, you can hear my heart rate already went up. I'm actually in better shape than I look. Again, my abdominal floor, my pelvic floor is not that great because I know what I've been doing. My wife yells at me, "Why are you sitting like that? I just sit like this." Okay? Our postures affect everything that we do. Give me 3 to 4 weeks, I'll do my breathing exercises more regularly, stop sitting like that on the sofa, even though it's comfortable, because it's lazy, right? You can be passive. As you go through and practice these postures and positions, and that's the great thing about the Spider-Man, you can start off with 2 sets of 3. You don't and shouldn't go crazy with this and go 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 15. When you do this properly, especially in the middle of high ride season, after you've done the work to set up the hips and the glutes to be able to fire properly, you get a great workout, a little bit of cardiorespiratory. You can take longer rest breaks, and in a 30-minute workout, including your 3 to 4 minutes of foam rolling, a breathing exercise, and 3 or 4 dynamic exercises, you only need maybe 3 other exercises, and you get a full body workout that's going to tie everything together and allow you to progress. So where would I put this in a workout? This would go usually along with A1, and A1 would be some type of deadlift for some athletes, and other athletes, it is an overhead press. And when I say other athletes, I'm talking about cyclists in particular. Triathletes, I tend to do something that would be a squat with a mid-back firing. So it could be an overhead barbell squat, a one-arm front squat, a kettlebell goblet squat. It could be a number of things. But cyclists, I like to give a pressing movement with this. Why? Because that's going to allow us to get that cross connect. So as this shoulder's pressing, this hip has to work, and then with the Spider-Man, when this hip is working, this shoulder needs to support, and then we have that rotation with the breath, which allows everything to open, allows the psoas to open, allows everything to connect in the opposite direction. So this is a fantastic exercise. So the 3 mistakes we want to avoid, number 1 is kind of lunging down in a weird position and kind of doing this, like 1 forward, 1 back, 1 forward, 1 back. We want to avoid that because you're not getting the muscles to fire in that position. You want to take a nice long step. So that's mistake number 1. Is that weird? Mistake number 2 is not modifying it if you can't get down into the correct position. The whole point of an exercise isn't to do it the way it's intended to do. It's to do it the way you need to do it. So modifying is the number 2 mistake. And then number 3 is not tying in your breathing. So getting that nice long step, coming down, fire the glute, chest is up, hip lift, Get that hamstring stretch, come down, rotating with that breath, back in. Oh. And you notice that was not my great side. That's the side that I've still working on that knee post-surgery. So lots of great stuff for you here on the HVT channel. Please make sure you like and subscribe down below. Now, I have to go because I have a phone call. This is one of the every other weeks, the 60-day home bodyweight workout program with the Cyclists. We're in week number 7. Really excited because we're already seeing fantastic results, even better than I thought it was going to be. And a lot of that is a testament to the athletes who signed up for it and the questions they're asking and how involved they are. So if you want to learn about other stuff here on the HVT channel, make sure you like and subscribe down below. Check out our Instagram page because we also have some videos over there. And sign up for the HVT newsletter over at www.humanvortextraining.com. Usually once a week, has some interesting stuff. Ties everything together because a lot of you like YouTube, you don't like Instagram, you like Facebook, you don't like Facebook, or Facebook doesn't give you the stuff that I'm putting out there. Same with Instagram. So we have lots of different content for you. All right, until next time, train smarter, not harder. Remember, when you go back outside or back to the gym, don't go back to what you were using before. Go to about 60 to 70% to keep yourself healthy and well. And that is it for today's almost daily coaching vlog. I forget these days. I am going to go and jump on a video call. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take it easy.